It is party time, Mom. That's right, on a Tuesday. Tuesday just doesn't get enough credit. You know, Lisa? Tuesday is just like, wah, wah, wah. Like Monday, it's people bitch about Monday, but Monday's just kind of fraught with anticipation. I kind of look forward to my Mondays because it's just like, it's a new week. Who knows what's going to happen?
Monday motivation. Hashtag Monday motivation.
Yeah. I always tell people, I said, if you would just try like 10% harder on Monday to be nicer or more encouraging, but Tuesday, you just realize you failed at Monday.
Tuesday's a do-over to Monday.
It is a second Monday, is what it is. At least Wednesday gets some hump in it. You know?
Yep. And then Thursday.
Thursday's Friday Eve.
Yep.
And then I don't care what you do on the weekend because we're not a part of your life then. But Lisa Page, maybe do it over at the pub. Hot News Natalie, Party Foul Steve,
whoever this guy is,
Jennings. No, I was just going to say, people should send you messages and ask you what Texit means. What does Texit mean to you? It's amazing to me how many people really don't understand what that means.
Beautiful.
In real terms for legislation here in Texas. Don't want to get into that necessarily. Puppet Master Mark driving us into the nether regions of all things. Well, let's just say Joe Biden. Joe Biden's brain. We're going to get lost in Joe Biden's brain today.
Joe Biden gets lost in Joe Biden's brain.
Yes, he does. Kayla Swift and Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians, regal and sleek. Look at Herbert the Silent Deer back there. Same face of shock he made the day the truck hit him. Yeah, good-looking deer. He was delicious, Joe Biden. I want to know what Joe Biden. If Joe Biden ends, if they just stop eating beef, right? You can only have, 4 pounds of beef a month or something like that, 1 hamburger a month. My numbers could be off, but it's something ridiculous like that. Which is okay at your house because you're married to a vegetarian.
Yeah, we do halfsies. Stu will grill out. We grilled out Sunday night, and he has no problem, flipping the burgers and stuff, but me and the kids, we stick with the real meat.
It's always good when your husband wants to flip your burger.
Yeah, I'll flip that burger all the time.
What are they going to do with all these farting cows that we're going to have? Because we're not going to kill them now.
Joe Biden needs the meat because he needs iron, he needs color in his face. He does need the protein. He needs the meat.
You know what? The man has more age spots on his head than he has original thoughts. I'll just put it that way. Why in the hell is Kamala Harris going to New Hampshire to talk about infrastructure? She's not the infrastructure czar. She is the border czar, right? She's the immigration czar.
Venezuela.
She's going to go down there and tell the folks in Argentina why we're supposed to give them more money. See, what I've been telling you guys for weeks is we got to stop the problem at the source. First, you got to turn the lights off because we're shining a beacon down there to below the southern border saying, come on in, guys, the water's fine. Everybody's walking up here. I mean, who the hell walks 2,500 miles across Mexico? Why would you do? How do you know to do that?
Well, did you hear Kamala Harris over the weekend did a press conference, and she's like, I put myself in those families' positions, and I'm looking for a better life. And they don't want to leave their homes. They don't want to leave their family. Yeah, they do. It's a freaking Christmas day every day down here. Come on in.
Well,
they don't care.
I can relate to those families. I doesn't mean I want them living in my house.
Right.
Like, I love my own family, but I don't want them living in my house.
Well, everybody over the weekend.
I've tried that. It fails.
I was reading on the weekend, someone posted on one of the sites, hey, for everybody who voted for Joe Biden, make sure you get your signs back out so all these illegal immigrants can go stay at your house while they flood into our country. You guys can help
Put
them.
up a vacancy sign.
Cool.
So I was in a convenience store. I had to stop and get gas this morning. And you know how I feel. I know how you feel about
we don't do
fuel
those
prices,
masks.
right?
Nope. Oh, yeah.
It's insane. So I go in, and there's dudes that, I had to do a double take. I was like, are these guys MS-13 members? Because they look like MS-13 members. And I was just glad to be strapped. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, were they guarding the pump or at the door of the convenience store?
They were in the convenience store. And I don't know if they were there to collect revenue or what they were doing. But if I see tattoos all over your face and head and you're bald headed and you ain't from around here, I'm assuming gang member.
Or a cartel.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I really admire about them guys that come over the border and stuff like that is they're not paying federal income tax.
They're figuring out a loophole.
They're truly free. They're not. They're free.
Steve.
Always with the hard hitting.
Steve's like, you know what? I appreciate people who know how to gyp the system. Those are my people. Simpatico, right there.
He means that. He means that.
No, I know he does.
He's like, I see you.
I just had to write a part of a big check to the IRS. So
those folks, the Americans who are like that, I've got to do the free riders. That's what they are. They get out and they bitch about the infrastructure. They bitch about the roads. They bitch about the conditions of the United States. But they don't pay a dime in taxes. They do everything they can not to pay a dime in taxes. It's so, listen, I'm all for paying less in taxes. I'm all for money going where it should go, right? But don't be a free rider. And I'm so sick of people talking about their fair share and all this. What we're doing, we're funding what's going on down at the border. We're funding all of this stuff that's going on. And so back to the original point, we got to get past this nonsense of turning the light on and saying you're welcome here. You're not welcome here. You're not. I love what Kristi Noem said in South Dakota. Call me when you're an American citizen, right? Call me when you're an American citizen.
And that takes a lot of balls to, as a governor, to say that.
Especially if you're a female.
Yep.
Like Kristi. Let's sell something. Hey, with corporations meddling in our democracy and canceling free speech, we need to support companies that support our values and believe in the Constitution. If you haven't already, go to patriotmobile.com/Chad right now. And when you switch today, you can bring your own phone, get 50% off your first 2 months, plus a free Patriot starter kit. And while you're there, enter to win a free phone and cellular service for the rest of your life. The details are on my special page, patriotmobile.com/Chad. Patriot Mobile has the broadest nationwide coverage and use the same towers as all the major carriers, so you can get the same great service. Plus, they have plans to fit any budget, including multi-line discounts. Switching is easy. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad or call their U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Veterans and first responders will save even more. So make the switch today. Get the discount, the free starter kit, and a chance to win cellular service. And guess what? You may get it for life with the offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. That's patriotmobile.com/Chad or 972-PATRIOT. Be right back. I don't know if you know it or not, but Thursday night, Jesse Payton, the Ragamuffins, and me, and I, let's get the grammar right.
Don't sound like the girl from Orlando.
Will be in the Woodlands, Texas at Do-Si Do's Big Barn. You get your tickets at watchchad.com. Come see us. And then if you're in San Angelo, Texas, or somewhere around there, because that's a pretty big area around there, get your tickets, come see us there on Friday night. I outran a tornado from last time I was in San Angelo. I did 90 miles outrunning a tornado. I could see it behind me, man.
Really?
I was booking it, yeah. I was like texting the house going, won't be making it home. I mean, there were McDonald's going across the street.
Stop.
And I don't mean McDonald's trash, like the whole building, the whole restaurant was coming across the deal. I mean, there was trash cans and trees. I saw a witch on a bicycle. It was just, I mean, everywhere, man.
Dude, a storm chaser over the weekend, huh?
That's why those folks up in Oklahoma, like the storm chasers, they've always over the years have asked me, they say, come be on an episode of our show. And I'm like, hell to the no.
No.
I've seen that movie. I don't like how it ends at all.
Then you became a part of it.
Huh?
Then you became a part of it.
Yeah, I've seen a few tornadoes in my time, been closer than I want to be, and no. No, thank you. But anyway, the last time I was, hopefully we'll have a better trip to San Angelo this Friday. WatchChad.com has the information. You need to go to Prather2022.com, sign up for our daily emails, and check out what we're talking about when we talk about running for governor and primarying Greg Abbott in 2022. I'm so tired of everybody saying, Chad, you need to stop doing this. You're just going to split the vote, and it's going to be a liberal who's going to get to be governor of Texas. Take a civics class, people. If you haven't never done it, just go back and get a refresher course, okay? Civics for Dummies. There's got to be a yellow book out there somewhere. There is a primary process, okay? I'm not running as an independent, running as a Republican. I don't like that per se, but that's what I'm doing. I'm a libertarian. I'm a libertarian, but I'm running as a Republican because it's primary or nothing for me. So nobody splits any votes. I'm not the guy you got to worry about.
No,
I'm not the guy you got to worry about.
Governor, I forgot to ask you, I meant to ask you this, but did you do something this past weekend with some people on your Prather 22
campaign
tour?
Yeah.
I feel like I saw you somewhere with like some pretty important people, and I don't remember any of us getting the invite.
You're always invited everywhere I go.
I didn't see it.
However, you got to pass muster with their security details. So we did. We
That's
hung
why
out.
I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's why Steve doesn't go. Steve's paranoid. Yeah, we were last week.
Steve gets kicked out of comic book stores, so
yeah, we were at the True Texas event, and then we were in Princeton, Texas. Great event over there. Sid Miller, our ag commissioner, showed up and spoke, and of course our Attorney General Ken Paxton was there. Shelley Luther, our good friend, was there, and it's just kind of. And then the True Texas event was kind of a who's who of, of folks in North Texas that are kind of warriors for the cause.
Did Maddie Parker show up over there?
You kind of got a thing for Maddie Parker,
Yeah, a
don't
little
you?
bit.
Wednesday night at Silverleaf Cigar Lounge in downtown Fort Worth, they're going to have a little reception at 5:30 in the afternoon for the mayoral candidates in the Fort Worth area. I'm not sure if that's for everybody or just a few or what it's going to be, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to go.
Nice.
I'm going to go hang out and spend a little time with everybody. That's this Wednesday night. So either way, it's fun. I encourage people, and the reason I bring all this stuff up, people say, you talk a lot about Texas politics. You need to stop doing it. No, this is my show. And I'll talk about what I want to talk about. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. The reason these a lot of municipal races going on around Texas right now, it is so important that we discover who the right candidates are, whether it's mayoral or people who are taking care of your water and taking care of your city council and your board of education. You got to get the right people on local politics. If there's ever been anything I've preached, what have I said? Small government starts with yourself, then your family and your home, then your community. If you're not going to focus on your community, why do you worry about who's sitting in the Oval Office? Because Joe Biden and even Donald Trump, they didn't come to your neighborhood and look into the issues that are going on. You've got to focus on government at the local level. That's the only way we become truly conservative and start to bring things back to the individual. We're not conserving anything right now as a government.
Oh, no.
We're not. It's just getting bigger and more expansive. So don't blame me. I voted for Trump.
I love that shirt.
Me too. And it's true. The further and further we go with this nonsense, the more and more I'm like, I miss you, Donnie T.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear the liberals complaining because y'all voted for this.
Yeah.
Y'all voted for this.
Yeah, y'all own it.
Yep.
Y'all own this. But you don't have mean tweets.
No.
You don't have mean tweets.
And you can't meme.
And you can't meme. But I encourage people, and let me tell you, let's go back to 2018. Because these are things also in the world of politics that people don't understand, right? 2018 was pivotal, especially for Tarrant County, which is Fort Worth of Texas. You had, for the first time in its history, it voted blue when Beto O'Rourke was running against Senator Ted Cruz, okay? They poured all of that Hollywood money, all of that California money into that Beto O'Rourke, Robert Francis O'Rourke run. He had, I don't know, I want to say he had like 1,700 staff members on that campaign. I think that Cruz only had a handful, and they meant they were going to win it. And whereas Beto lost the election, he really won because of across Texas, he influenced the down ballot. So by people voting in that, so many people on the left won their election, even though Beto lost, and it's influencing state politics right now because the down ballot is what mattered. Okay, so you got to be careful when you're getting into this. We've got to show up. You got to show up for your municipal elections. You got to show up for your local. You got to your state primaries. These are what we're talking about. Going to happen either May or July.
Yeah, early voting is happening in some places now.
See, because I can tell you already. I can tell you already what's going to happen. People are going to say they're going to show up in November of 22, and they're going to go, Chad, you're not on the ballot. No shit. That's because you didn't vote in the primary. That's what you got to focus on. So I'm encouraging people, educate yourself, be smart, because it directly influences. And right now in Texas, with the way we're going, man, we're saying a lot of things, we're not doing a lot of the right things, and we're creating a government and a future for our kids that is untenable 10 years down the road. It's just not good. Not good. We got to shut this state down. We got to create we got to stop what's happening at the southern border. We got to say no more to illegals. And yeah, I said it, illegals coming into this state. If other states can do it, by God, we can do it too. And right now, they're getting a free pass.
We should be the first doing it.
We should absolutely. I'm so tired of Texas not leading, but sticking our fingers up in the air, testing the winds of popular opinion to see which way conservatives are leaning, because Kristi Noem said something, or Ron DeSantis said something, or Henry McMaster said something. We gotta stop following and be the state of Texas. But don't worry about it. Biden is considering a plan to invite climate migrants into the U.S. He's going to provide immigration rights and citizenship to many foreign, quote, climate migrants who claim they're being displaced by climate change.
That's weak. That's a horrible excuse.
Oh.
Next thing you know, they'll be pulling hamburgers right out of their mouths.
Well, they're not coming here to have that plant-based beer, man.
No.
Nope.
We got Meter Light, Meatweiser. Oh, man. So he has issued an executive order February 4th ordering National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan to produce a report called Planning for the Impact of Climate Change on Migration. You would think the ice age is happening here. Like there's a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska, and people are just crossing over, coming to the Aleutian Islands and just walking down. And you would think that that's what we're talking about.
Right.
That's not what we're dealing with. The AP noted on Tuesday, no nation offers asylum or other legal protection to people displaced specifically because of climate change. President Joe Biden's administration is studying the idea, and climate migration is expected to be discussed at his first climate summit. Talk about pissing your money away. Here we are, folks. Oh, I looked through this article and I'm like, would you please give me an example of who's getting driven out? So you remember a few weeks ago, Nancy Pelosi blamed this southern migration up to our southern border on climate change because they don't have fields to plow anymore. So they're coming up here looking for arable land. That's why they're coming here. That's why they're coming here wearing Biden swag.
They can't breathe because Nancy Pelosi's district is smelling like.
Nancy Pelosi,
You know
coming
what it
here
smells
because
like.
they just don't have Honduras and you don't have fields to plow anymore. And I just feel so sorry for all of these people.
I can't.
So I mean, I've said that's inherently racist to even make that comment because you're saying all these people, quote, are good for is plowing fields.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if a conservative said something like that?
They wouldn't because they'd be canceled yesterday.
I just know, where do they get their iPhone 12s when they're coming before they come across the border? Are they issuing those at the border or what?
Yeah, it's a free pass. Welcome to America. Here's a free iPhone.
You heard our good friend Victor Avila on Thursday night's episode, which was one of the most powerful episodes we've ever done. Not just recently, ever. You need to go back and watch last Thursday's episode and get his book, Agent Under Fire. And you need to get that book. AgentUnderFireBook.com is where you get it. So he was talking about when he was down there the day they were ambushed, he and Jaime Zapata, who lost his life in the ambush, they were going down through there and there was like a Church's chicken and there was a Subway sandwiches. And he was like, how do they have all this? So this is near Mexico. He said, well, of course they have it here. But look, I've spent time in Honduras, spent time in Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala. I've been to all of the extensive time. Of course, as the years have progressed, they have all of those first world businesses are there and different things. They're still second world countries. But they have those things, right? The issue, and when I keep saying we got to go to the source, the reason Kamala Harris is down in South America talking about sending more money to these countries, that's the problem. We're sending money by the tens of billions every year to corrupt governments that even though they're democracies, the money's not getting to the people. And so those people are leaving. These are ambitious people. These are visionary people. These are industrious people. These are hardworking people. I've said it over and over again. If I could take the rhinos and I could take the progressives and snap my fingers and replace them with some of these hardworking people, they'd be citizens right now.
Yes.
But that ain't the process. That's not the way it works.
Call you Thanos.
Yes.
I'm waiting on that last knuckle to get the last stone, and I can snap my fingers, and that's what we'll have. I would rather have the quote unquote visionary, hardworking with values I mean, these folks come in here. Many of them have family values. Many of them do. The problem is not these families that Kamala feels for. We all feel for these families. But it's the influence of the traffickers and the cartels and the abuses that are taking place here. And they're using children as a shield, which is the ultimate evil. So now you take that and you twist that narrative, everything from kids in cages to dropping kids over a border wall. And when we talk about putting forth a show of force or shutting down the border, how dare you do that to these children?
Make it look like it's an American problem when it's a Mexico problem. It's a South America problem.
Well, we've got to stop sending this money. We're funding this. Our federal government is funding these things. We're incentivizing these governments to remain corrupt, because why would they change? The reason Trump had such power over Mexico, and Mexico is not a big fan of America, but he kept putting those tariffs out there and threats of more tariffs, and so he made them pliable to the will of the American way. And so you didn't have the same issues. You had border guards that were down on the southern border who were actually bored. They didn't have anything to do throughout the day. And now they're being overrun, they're being hand-tied, and they can't do their jobs. It's a mouthful, but it's the truth. We got to stop this crap. That's why Kamala's down there. We are funding the corruption. And of course, they're going to be driven out of their own countries.
And she knows it.
And they don't want to leave their countries. Many of them don't want to, but they want to come here, but they don't want to come here and assimilate, which is such a bad word. They want to bring their countries here and establish their way of life in Honduras and in El Salvador. They want to establish that here. Coming to a city near you. It's what's going to happen. These ain't border states, folks. It's everywhere. Hey, could the stock market be on the verge of historic gains? I think so. It really could. Don't listen to all the naysayers, Glenn Beck. According to my good friends over at Carnivore Trading, they've spotted several key indicators. But the biggest profits will come in sectors that even the Wall Street experts are going to miss. I talked to them the other day on the phone. I love these guys. Started using them just last week. Carnivore Trading. It's an elite squad of strategists who influence major Wall Street investors. And when you subscribe to Carnivore, you'll receive real-time text alerts of explosive trades they're making for their elite clients. I've already gotten 3 text messages today alone. You can mirror their trades with your discount broker, or you can, whatever you want to do with that. You can use the information how you want to. But why would you pass up on that when their trades are routinely crushing the S&P 500? They guarantee you'll earn 5 times your monthly subscription or double your money back. That's 5 times your monthly fee just by mirroring their trade. So the market, it looks like it's on the verge of a massive upswing. Get off the sidelines, mirror Carnivore's trades, and right now you'll get 2 weeks free. Visit getourtrades.com. Use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. That's getourtrades.com. Use promo code Chad. See the website for guaranteed terms and conditions. Past performance, not a guarantee of future earnings. Be right back. So I love it. I love it when the left eats its own. You know this, right? And when you just set a booby trap. I just saw Goonies. Booby traps. When you just stop Asian hate. Booby trap. Dr. Jones. You know when they set booby traps for themselves, and you could just watch the train wreck in slow motion. So Disney World's been changing their names of their rides. And one disgruntled fan blasted them, says wokeness is ruining his favorite attractions. So Disney's wokeness has set Twitter ablaze, with Patricia Arquette, James Gunn, Patton Oswalt, and many others weighing in to defend the company's tweaks to popular attractions at Disney World. So Disney's in the process of taking the woke scalpel to the Jungle Cruise. Trader Sam is out because he might offend certain people. Every grown-up in the room realizes that Trader Sam is not a representation of reality and is meant as a funny and silly caricature. It is no more based in racism than every Disney caricature of an out-of-touch white American dad. This is what the guy wrote. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, he says, used to be one of my favorite attractions. First of all, let me unpack the fact that this is a grown-ass man.
It's a little too much passion for Disney. Sure it's not Glenn?
Yeah.
I
it
love
could be
Pirates
Glenn.
of the Caribbean. I love that ride.
Um,
I do.
yeah.
He was a little wet for me. A little too splish splashy for me.
I liked it.
Listen, man, I used to love when my kids were little. I used to love going to Disney World. I used to have a blast. You just watch your kids,
Yeah.
right? And it's just Disney always they just exuded excellence.
Right.
Like if the horse in the carriage was coming down Main Street Disney and the horse took a shit, there was somebody to just sweep
Absolutely.
that right up. I mean, they
Yes,
just were
yes.
these people just came out of the shadows and then it was just gone.
Magical.
Yeah.
It was a Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And but I just love their sense of excellence, right? The way the grounds were kept and everything.
Yes.
And the artistry and just the architecture of it, and just it's cool. I used to love taking my kids there. But when you used to ride It's a Small World Afterworld,
Well, that's what we're living in. An afterworld is right.
It's a Small World After All. You can't get that little jingle out of your head.
No.
Like if you're gonna be offended by something, that's some earworm crap right there that's assaulting my brain.
It will haunt you.
Are you about to tell us it's called It's a Woke World After All?
Yeah.
It's a woke world after
It's a
all.
woke world after all.
Don't put that in my head. Pirates of the Caribbean used to be one of my favorite attractions. My family would always ride it first on our first day at the Magic Kingdom after waiting 4 hours in line. Now we don't even ride it every trip. When my family rides Pirates, now each of the changed scenes takes us out of the illusion because they remind us of reality, that the politics has forced the changes. Disney World is going to lose us as customers if it continues down this path.
Girl, just hand in your tickets now because it ain't changing.
Somebody's turning in their fast pass.
Wow.
Exactly.
So here's James Gunn. If you remember James Gunn, he is the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy series. And he got into a lot of trouble over some old, for lack of a better term, pedo-type tweet jokes that he made. And they fired him, and then they reinstated him because so many people came out in his defense. Hollywood. He says the wokeness specifically is seeing cast members' tattoos and removing a character named Trader Sam from the Jungle Cruise. A grown man sees these things or doesn't see them and gets all worked up, and the experience is ruined for him. Somehow he doesn't see this as his problem. This guy's taking the Christ right out of Christian if he doesn't understand why racist imagery is not acceptable. That was Patricia Arquette. Imagine being a person who can no longer bring himself to ride Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World because they got rid of the take a winch for a bride scene with crying women tied together by ropes. Like, where do you fall on this whole issue? Like I've pointed out, this is a grown man, and then is this Disney?
Well, you know, when Glenn Beck says don't give money to Disney, you know it's bad. Because
Well, I have other reasons than Trader Sam.
Of course, yeah. But I mean, I think Disney as a whole, we all need to just like face it. It's they're going to change. They are woke and they're not going to go back. I'm just glad we all went. My family went before COVID because that seemed to be like.
So that's officially changed on that ride.
Yeah.
There were winches that were tied together.
So Trader Sam was the guy towards the end of the ride. He was the native that dealt in shrunken heads.
Okay.
Right. So they felt like that was a racial stereotype anyway.
Well,
I kind of like those girls all tied together.
I kind of heard
I was
that.
going to say, I've never been to
course you
Disneyland.
do.
Tell me more about that.
Oh, do tell me more.
I've heard
Please.
I've heard them talk about the whole the Disney princesses on the Urban View, and because I listen to that sometimes to get a different perspective, and it kind of like I kind of get what they're saying. Not that I'm not saying I'm woke like that, but having your child grow up and there's no black Disney princess.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
There weren't.
Well, there are now.
Yeah, there are because
There
they
are
became
now.
woke.
So like last June, Splash Mountain Ride, they rethemed it to focus on the Princess and the Frog, right? So that was a black princess,
Mm-hmm.
right? Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
That was the one based in New Orleans or whatever, the Cajun culture. Bob Iger, who of course is the chairman of Disney, called Song of the South,
Tiana?
a film set on a Georgia plantation after the Civil War and whose characters are depicted in the ride, not appropriate for today's world. I liked Uncle Remus. Like, that's my childhood. There's a bluebird on my shoulder.
But who is now who's making these decisions that they're not appropriate? Clearly, it's not the people that are going to Disney World, the ones that are holding season passes. They're not the ones complaining. Is it because they feel the pressure to be woke?
You gotta be woke, man.
Gotta be woke. Because, all these season pass holders obviously don't care. They
Rich
probably
white
thought nothing
people.
about it. Wait, what?
Rich white people got season passes to Disney World. That's who.
Exactly.
Don't look at me. I went one time.
Yeah, it's again, it all comes back to guilt.
Right.
This presupposed idea of white guilt that we have to do everything to apologize for our sins and scars of our past. You didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't have anything to do with that. I made this comment and this pissed some people off last week, so I'm going to say it again. You live in a country where 600,000 men died in the bloodiest war we ever fought, which is called the Civil War. You can take all the other wars we fought in, combine them together. There was more bloodshed over abolishing slavery. Now, I understand people are going to come at me and say, well, the Civil War wasn't just about abolishing slavery. I understand that, but it was a main tenet of the war. We fought to get rid of Jim Crow laws. We fought to have civil rights. Civil rights was enacted. We now have affirmative action. We have the NAACP. We have a president who was elected twice who is a man of color. We have a female of color now who's the vice president. We are not a racist country.
No, and that's in a very, very short time in the, over time of, the world and nations and stuff like that. A couple hundred years. Boom.
And to quote from a Disney movie, what Chad's trying to say, guys, is you're welcome.
Leave it to Jennings.
Leave it, Moana.
Yeah.
Leave it right there.
Yeah, I hadn't even seen that one. I'm afraid to watch anything anymore.
Well,
I'm afraid
the
that just by
child star is
watching
colored.
it, if I just watch it, then I'm going to have to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a body positive princess yet, like Lizzo becoming a princess.
It's coming. It'll be here.
It has to be.
Okay, who's the hottest Disney princess? Ariel.
Ariel.
Yeah.
I've always been a Cinderella fan. Would you think I'd be Belle, but brunette.
If
To
one
be
of them put on
fair,
some fins and a bikini, then we'll talk.
It's Ariel because she's in a bikini. Like
Probably so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clam
All
shells.
right. Let's sell something, Candace. We got anything to sell?
Mm-mm.
Do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
No,
got
we have nothing to sell, but-
Well, we still have time to talk then. Let's
for
go back
Chad.
to hot princesses. I never saw Moana. Never saw that one.
Oh, well, you're missing out. That's actually a cute movie.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't it Disney forever that kept getting in trouble because all the animation kept having
Yeah, like a penis in the
penis
castle
getting
and all
hard
that.
and-
Yeah.
all that?
And people say,
that
no,
real?
that y'all
Yeah.
just making that stuff up. And it's
No,
like,
that was real.
Oh no, I seen
That
I
was
saw
real.
it.
When Lion
You
King,
done
when it
seen it.
spelled out sex.
Sex. You can freeze it. You can see it.
Totally.
You can spell it right out. And people are like, oh no, they're not hiding anything.
Google it.
Oh yeah.
If you have that old VHS, you could see it.
Oh,
The
you
real
can see
question
it.
is why. I mean, I don't think anybody was trying to place subliminal
No, I think it was
messages.
just
Fun.
I think they were
people just
fun.
having fun with their animation and like, then
Yeah.
we'll just see if we can stick this stuff in
Slip
there.
it in.
Somewhere while the reel's flipping through, you see a Coke ad and you don't even know it. Hey,
Here's
we'll
an
be
erection.
right back. So, on a more serious note, this again, when you set booby traps for yourself, you tend to step on them. Black business owners at George Floyd Square pleading for help as crime spikes and revenue plummets. All right. So that is the corner of 38th Street and Chicago Avenue, known as George Floyd Square. That is Minneapolis. They're struggling to stay open due to rampant crime and say police have blocked off the intersection, creating a dangerous autonomous zone. The city left me in danger, the owner of Smoke in the Pit said Thursday, 2 days after Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder for Floyd's death. They locked us up here and left us behind. Several stores on the block were boarded up. They said, look around. Things are empty. What can we do about it? Left-wing militants have reportedly been patrolling the autonomous zone around the Floyd Memorial, and business owners say crime has spiraled out of control as a result. There's been GoFundMe pages that have been set up to try to help the owners of these businesses. So this is one of those things where you've created You created this whole deal.
Yeah.
You created this scenario, and now you're living with the results of it. And the white communities aren't the ones who are suffering from this. It's the same story. We've been seeing it. You can go all the way back to the L.A. riots. What was that, 84, whenever. You can go all the way. It's the black communities that are suffering because of this.
But Black Lives Matter, Chad.
Well, I guess so. I mean, especially if you're Patrice Carruthers or whatever her name is, and you live in a white community.
Not
full
black
homes.
business owners.
No.
They don't matter.
No.
But hey,
If you let community policing not exist, that's what's going to happen.
it's just the nature of the beast. I mean,
Is it
it's what's
NYPD
gonna
that I
happen.
saw a report today that numbers are, I mean, they're just quitting left and
75%.
they're out. They're done.
Mass exodus.
How much?
75%.
Yeah.
75% spike in departures and retirements. Yeah, hell yeah. If I'm a New York cop, if I am married to a New York cop, I'm begging my husband.
Yes.
I wouldn't even have to beg. They would quit.
But they're not scared to do their job. They're scared that
Yes,
an
they do their
incident's gonna
job.
happen
Yep.
and
They will do
They're
their
gonna go to
job, and
prison
then they're
for
going to get prosecuted
I'd
for
be
it.
like, screw it, I ain't driving through there. I'm not going to go patrol that area either.
No, I told you last
It wouldn't
week.
make a good cop because
Work for a private security firm. I bet you see a lot of private security firms open up in the next year.
Yep.
So I saw a video that a friend of ours in South Texas sent us of a cop shooting a man down near Rosenberg, Texas. Did you see that? Did you get that video, Steve? Did you see it?
I don't.
I'll
think
send
I
it
saw
over to you.
All right.
So it's a standoff. You got two patrol cars there. Cops are screaming for this guy to put the gun down, and the guy refuses to put the gun down. He's waving it all over the place, and they're probably a good 40 yards from the guy. And you could tell, and you see very clearly, they give him all the time in the world to put the damn gun down. And then finally, you could see he picks the gun up and aims it at the cops, and they light his ass up, as they should, as they should. I mean, at what point in time is a justified shooting justified? I mean, how many justifications do you need on this? So we had, over the weekend, people that came to our show. There were numerous. We always have numerous law enforcement, first responders, military, veterans that come to our shows. Had several that were at the shows in Oklahoma this week. And, you know, it's the same conversation every time. I'm like, how do you find just the will to continue to do this job? And they say it's hard. It really is hard. And I said, well, thank you for doing the job. Keep doing the job. And we're praying for you. And there are those who support. And I do appreciate what Tyler Perry said in his Oscar speech, where he said, I find it, and I'm basically paraphrasing, he says, I find it hard to not defend the police. You know, I want to defend the police. And to speak out against them is just not what he's going to do. There's got to be more people who are willing to look at this openly. These are not race problems. These are culture problems that we're seeing. And when you have a guy like Mondaire Jones, who is, of course, representative, I think he's out of California. I just discovered him recently, and I went down the rabbit hole of his Twitter, and I just thought, this is how ignorant, where you just are going to make everything racist. He said on Saturday that to oppose D.C. statehood is racist because it's suppressing voting rights for people of color. Now, to read that on the surface, you'd say, how dare they? How dare they? Well, first of all, constitutionally, you can't make D.C. a state. It's a 10 by 10 mile square that is specifically set apart to house the federal government, and it can't be a place that is representing any one state. That's the way our founding fathers established that. That's the reason it is the District of Columbia. There are a large population of blacks in the community and minorities in the community. I mean, let's have the discussion. We've done this before. At what point in time does the minority become the majority? If you're the only white kid in a black school, are you still a majority?
Right.
See, nobody wants to have those conversations. So to say that, well, they're just discriminating against minorities because D.C., which is primarily black, is suppressing black votes. Just throw the Constitution out. Doesn't matter what the founding fathers' intentions were in establishing D.C., but it's racist. So now we've got to have this conversation.
And I think when you move to D.C., you kind of know you're moving into an area that you cannot vote.
That's right. There are certain places, like if constitutional carry of a firearm is important to me, like that is a watershed, diehard issue for me, well, Texas ain't the state for me right now because we don't have constitutional carry. I hope that we do in the days ahead. I need to move to Oklahoma. I need to move to Vermont, the land of Bernie Sanders, believe it or not. I need to move to Utah, the land of Mitt Romney, for crying out loud, but not Texas. That's how stupid this is. But if I value a certain thing and my state doesn't have that, then so there's certain things you can't do in certain states. If I go to D.C. and live there, I don't get to vote. I'm not. It's not what's going to happen. I don't have a state to vote in. So he said, if you uphold systems of white supremacy, even if you do not consider yourself to be racist, you are engaging in racist activity. D.C. has a population of 700,000 residents, greater than Wyoming and Vermont, but the residents don't have a voting member in the House and have no representation in the Senate. Mondaire Jones argued the reasons why D.C. doesn't have full voting rights and Wyoming and Vermont do is that those states are overwhelmingly white.
It's always about race.
No,
always about
your spot has an overwhelmingly white house. That's the problem.
Listen, we don't know American history, much less world history. That's why we're all going to be screwed.
True.
Because people don't know world history. They don't understand what's happened before. And it's just history repeating itself. And this is the kind of rhetoric that inflames these things. So don't buy into this garbage. Think for yourself. A little complexity of thought.
Yeah.
A little
critical thinking.
A little critical thinking. And I don't mean critical race theory thinking. I mean critical, honest to God thinking. And let's stop making it about white and black.
Yeah, and it's funny because the left is all about anti this, anti that, and they are the most racist. These rules and these restrictions and these recalls and the changing of everything is all coming from that side.
You're so white, Lisa.
I'm proud to be white, and I'm not apologizing for it. Damn it!
White pride.
White pride!
Beat your chest. Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah,
that could be racist. See, somebody call Disney.
Shoot.
We'll be right back. Before we get out of here, I got to give you one more booby trap. Booby trap. McDonald's franchise in Florida is so desperate for workers that they're offering people $50 just to show up for an interview. Still not getting enough applicants. You know why? In part because the system of ultra-generous unemployment benefits perpetuated by President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion surplus coronavirus legislation is, quote, truly creating the incentive to not work right now.
There it is.
The franchise owner told Business Insider. And how do you blame somebody? You can make more money on unemployment than from working.
Mm-hmm. Preach.
Preach.
That's like my building contractor friend. He's can't find people to work.
Yeah. Give me my stimmy. So there you go. I mean, that's the deal. Again, and you want to see this, we mentioned it, alluded to it, and NYPD experienced mass exodus of 75% departures. They're leaving. You see what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. Love or hate Rudy Giuliani. He did a hell of a job in New York cleaning it up. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, you see what you're going to be about to get. Booby trap!
You voted for him.
Straight from Prather2022.com.
Give me that,
Prather for governor.
Light it up, Chad.
The Panther. Prather2022.com. Go there, sign up for our email. Daily email will tell you what's going on in Texas, and we'll keep you abreast of all the things that matter. Also, watchchad.com is where all the fun stuff is, and I would be remiss if I didn't tell you to come see us this weekend, the Woodlands, and also San Angelo, Texas. And guess what? BlazeTV.com/Chad. You can use promo code CPS, and you get all of our Blaze family. We love y'all. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Take care. Bye.